Hello, everyone. It's the Emperor Nosh, and welcome back to the Into the Depths anime podcast for episode 3.
Well, hello there. This is your boy Vince. Today we're gonna be talking about the animes you like, we like, everybody likes. Like again, like I always say, if you have something you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments down below.
How about that gotcha though?
Which one?
The one that's coming out in a few days on May 8th,
Ooh,
dating this video now apparently.
is it the one that I'm thinking?
Solo Leveling Arise should be coming out May 8th.
Definitely gonna give it a check. Are you gonna give it a check?
Oh heck yeah. I might do a video. I thought about streaming it, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna also have Wuthering Waves on May 22nd. So I want to try this. And I think it is globally, all regions on the same day.
It seems fun. I was looking at some videos of it, and even though it's a gacha, it's more emphasized on level progressing. So it's pretty interesting if I do say so myself.
How did the combat look? I didn't like look too deeply into it.
About as combat for a mobile game could look, I don't know how to tell you, but it looked pretty good. The graphics were good, and it looked pretty fluid too. So the motion, I didn't see no skips on the video that I saw, and I will be definitely giving it a try because I am interested and I love solo leveling. So as long as I can get my hands on Ingrid, then I'm good.
I know because we're gonna be playing through. Literally a faithful adaptation of the original story, right?
So I've heard.
Yeah, so you've heard. It's also coming out PC and mobile platforms. I'm not sure if console yet. I haven't seen anything like that. But I'll be playing it on PC, of course. I'm a PC gamer. I hate playing on phones. Gonna be honest.
I'll be giving it a check on mobile. I'm not
Mobile.
sure if I'll play it on PC.
Yeah, it's fair. I just have a nice rig for that. I wonder how much of the story it's going to go through. Do you think it's going to be kind of aligned with the anime? Or is it going to be going further and beyond that? Do you think we're going to get like, you know, further away from the anime's, version of it, right?
So what I think is we should probably get the first part of the story so far with the anime. You might get a thing or two from the things that we've not seen, but the game will go into a halt like they do with every other game, and they will give you like different content and all that up until when the anime goes on and gives you more parts. So that I think that's when they'll release another part of the game.
Yeah, and we do have more solo leveling at some point. I don't remember when. I don't think they announced when the next part is. I don't think so. I just know they could just do side events too. It's highly possible. Every gotcha game does little side events. I don't know, like character events and stuff like that. They might even delve more deeply into some of these characters that we didn't, like getting some more, I guess character development of sorts. Easily could be easily could be something they do.
I believe the SAO game, Sword Art Online, one of the latest ones, when they were currently airing the last season, so they went into a halt on the game. They're just putting other type of content,
Yeah.
and once the anime proceeded, then they started releasing all these older characters.
And also, I mean, the weird thing about that is I played SAO Memory Fragment in the past, and
Hmm.
they did something. No, not Memory Fragment, Memory Defrag. I am getting the game I'm currently streaming and his game mixed up. I played Memory Defrag in the past, which is the 2D kind of combat style and such like that. And even before the Alicization art came out, they had Yu-Gi-Oh and Alice, which I had at that time no idea who the fuck they were. So they could easily do that. They could just throw in characters. Though I think we've kind of seen a majority of our current cast at this point. There's probably more later, obviously. We've seen a lot of them. We've seen a lot of the S ranks. But there's probably a lot more. We've seen that.
They and that anime ended up that they're gonna be invading the island, so I'm looking forward to see what's gonna happen.
But yeah, we're gonna be picking that up in the next season. Yeah, though we don't have a current release date for that either. I'm assuming next year. That's my assumption. we'll have to see on that. But I'm ready to check it out. I might do recording, checking it out, and if I feel like I want to, keep doing it as a recorded series, I'll probably do that.
You're gonna be busy. You got Wuthering Waves, and you're gonna get solo leveling too. So
Yeah, I might end up having like 3 games that are kind of continuous playing, at least until I catch up on the story for Wuthering Waves or so. Depending if I like it. That's the thing. I'd want to stream my first reactions to Wuthering Waves. And then if I continue and I feel like I'm enjoying the story and stuff like that, I'll continue it. Kind of like I'm doing with Star Rail, with Genshin Story. I'm still playing those on streams because I'm enjoying them, especially Star Rail. Star Rail again. New update tomorrow. I will be doing that. But I will not be pulling for characters this time. I'm going to refrain for this patch and wait for the next one.
isn't Wuthering Waves the one that you can drive cars, or the one that you capture the bosses and can use your special attack?
It's the capture the bosses. Where's this drive cars though? I'm interested in that. Where did this run from?
So a while back, there was a trailer for a game that's just like Genshin.
It might be Zenless Zone Zero, maybe.
Probably that sounds correct.
That's another Hoyoverse game, by the way.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking, because I saw the person driving a car and then started to swing like Spider Man and got into all sorts of action. So it seemed kind of cool. I'm interested in that one.
Yeah, that's Zenless Zone Zero. I remember something like that. That actually releases 7/3 of this year, it looks like.
Ooh,
And it's coming out on Windows, iOS, Android, and PlayStation 5.
nice. So that means that I'll be able to play it. Yes.
Sorry, Xbox. Uh, man. I mean, I'll probably check it out. It's just, there's too many games. I can't play all these gotcha.
Too many games, not so much time, huh?
Absolutely. And it's like, if I do all these gacha games, I won't have time to play these single player games. I won't be able to play through the SAO arcs. I won't be able to play through
Finish Persona first.
Telluriza. Yeah, I still got to finish Persona. Persona 5's has been great. I've been enjoying it. I'm surprised on the amount of content. I told you that the other day. I am
Mhm.
surprised on how much content Persona 5 has. Where I'm just like, I'm almost done, and then they hit a curveball. No, you're not.
Yep, that's why I left Persona games.
Yeah. And I definitely will, after this is all said and done, play Persona 3 when it's probably a bit cheaper on my wallet.
This is the segment where the sponsor would go if we were sponsored by any of these companies, but
And I wish. I wish Atlas. Come on, Atlas.
Atlus and Hoyo,
Maybe one day.
you know,
Maybe
one day.
one day.
All right,
Yeah.
so what do we got in stock for today?
All right. Well, I want to start us off with one that came out on Saturday. It waited a lot longer than a lot of these other anime. My Hero Academia episode 1 of season 7 is officially out. And I know you're more of a manga reader.
Yes, I'm reading the manga.
I just want to first say, if you remember who TK is, aka the singer for the Tokyo Ghoul iconic song,
Yes.
he is the one singing the season 7 opening, and it
Oh,
is.
nice.
I've already I've listened the first time around. I wasn't sure, and then I listened to it again, and I'm just like, no, this is good. I like
Oh, you
this
like
opening.
it?
I absolutely like this opening.
Nice, nice. I'm glad to hear that. I'll give it a check because since I read the manga, I haven't really watched um that episode yet. However, I like it when people say that the opening is really good, so it gets me interesting. Like, there's a lot of animes out there that have really good openings.
Domestic Girlfriend.
What?
There's an anime called Domestic Girlfriend where the show is pretty much a trash bin, and the opening is phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Of course, you would watch a show like that, huh?
I mean, I didn't expect it to be a freaking trash fire, man.
Leave it to the emperor to watch animes like that.
Uh, but anyway, going into My Hero, well, just know before we get into this discussion, we are in spoiler territory.
Yes. So disclosure.
Please don't attack us.
Full disclosure, from this moment on, we'll be reviewing and talking about anime episodes, what we saw and what we think. Just putting it out there, we might say about stuff that happened on the episode, so you have been warned. Please don't assault anybody.
Freaking like the article I saw on Oshinoko.
Well, of course, man, I would do the same if somebody spoils me.
You would attack them.
Oh yes, yes, I would.
Man, you hear that? Don't give him spoilers. He'll get you.
I do not do it.
But anyway, to My Hero episode 1, we'll go to season 6, how season 6 ended last time. Season 6 ended with a certain American hero, the United States hero of Smash. Stars and Stripes. Stars and Stripes popping up on these jet planes. And it's just like, this is badass.
Yes, like America would make an entrance just like that. That's how she made an entrance, and she
Yeah.
is badass.
And thus, we start this episode off with, hey, we're going to Japan, essentially. Stars and Stripes, like, we're going there. And of course, who meets Stars and Stripes up in the sky? Shigaraki. Already, off the bat, it's just like, really? Already?
Yeah, he kind of felt that he should have intervened over there. So
We also know that literally in this episode, All for One himself talks and mentions that his target is her. He wants her quirk, which we don't at that time realize why he wants his quirk.
I know why, but you're gonna have to find out. You're gonna have to find out on the episode that's to come. She has a really powerful quirk.
Well, I mean, we know what it is. They have mentioned it in episode 1. I just mean at that moment we didn't know until they explained what her quirk does, and it's actually, if you think about it, insanely broken.
It is. I could even go as far as saying it's stronger than all for one, all for one or one for all. The quirk itself,
I mean,
or matches is up. Yeah.
and the fact that she just like, hey, air, 10 meters in front of me, you don't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, interesting. And then they explained that it's called New Order, and she can add new rules to essentially anything she's touching.
She doesn't have to touch. She can. She only has to give it a new order, and whatever it is, can has to obey her.
Oh, well, I wonder why they mentioned that he had to touch, Shigaraki before he could even like.
I don't weird. I don't remember that in the um manga version, but I mean maybe it's a every quirk has a weakness too, and you know that, so maybe that's the weakness of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say probably the more badass thing though is when he's just like, "Hey, air compressed to my figure, but like 10 times the size."
Mm-hmm.
And then so there's this like giant like air figure that looks like her, but apparently like Shigaraki himself doesn't see it. He just senses that there's something there.
Yeah, but that quirk is really strong. I really like that quirk. You know,
If you had that quirk, what would you do with it?
I would be the villain. I'll tell you that.
It would be the
Would
villain.
not be a hero.
I mean, its proper name with New Order, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could take over society with that power.
I could just say humanity will now obey me. Humanity New Order will now obey me. Humanity consists of all humans, so
Also on that note, and you could probably tell me that I'm correct on this or not. She says that she can only target 2 things at once, and one of those things is always herself, right?
yeah. So it's supposed to be three, and one of the three it's her, if I'm not mistaken. I could
I,
be wrong.
I think she said 2.
That might be yes, that might be correct. But as I recall it on the manga, yes, she has a limit cap She can give, I believe it's a correct, and two orders, and one she's using it on herself.
So she's giving herself like her All Might physique, essentially.
She's
Something.
boosting herself. Yes.
Wonder what she said to do that. Did she say like become like All Might or something?
No, that's how she is. That's her physique.
Oh yeah, right. I did see her actual like form like without that. Unless she
Mhm.
constantly has an order on herself though. I just mean like if the order was to come off, would she kind of look like All Might does when his power is off?
No, because I believe when they showed her, she still looked like that. So I think that that's how she really looks.
Okay, so it's not like her order is in effect even when she's not fighting anything.
So the order that she has, it's something other. It's not like, oh, buddy, I want you to be buff. Like, oh my, it's not that. That's if I'm not mistaken, that's her actual physique. But it's been a while since I've read this manga, so this
Yeah.
came out like 1 year ago or maybe more. So I could be, mistaken. But that's, as far as I remember, that's what I remember.
Okay. And yeah, towards she kind of used like a laser too and whatnot. She used a laser as kind of like
Hmm.
a staff and you know.
Hmm.
And then towards the end, obviously the United States, sent, what we always send, missiles.
What we always said.
We always send missiles, right?
Might want
Intercontinental
to be
missiles.
careful there. Yep. Might want to be careful there on what you say.
Hey, you know what's happened. We all know what's happened. You can't really. Well, I actually did think it was going to be like a nuke and not just missiles, though. I'm going to be honest. It felt more in.
I thought it was gonna be a nuke too.
I was just like, that would have been more in US fashion for a nuke.
But how did you like the episode?
I thought it was great, and I did not expect them to just go right on in like that quickly. I was
Yeah,
just like, they just went right into the fight with Shigaraki. I'm just like, man, you didn't give us a freaking moment to rest.
if you recall, last time we spoke about for a while about
Yeah,
Hero Academia, I told you that the school festival arc, the music festival,
yeah,
was the last light-hearted arc that you were gonna get. From then on, it's gonna get darker and darker, and every season it gets more darker. So now Mhm. So
you
every
weren't
season
wrong.
out with the action, like there's a lot of action after that, a lot of things that happens after this fight that you just saw with Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
So, and trust me, by every time it gets darker and darker.
Well, moving on to some more action. We can talk about Kaiju number 8, man. We had a couple episodes to talk about here, and the last two episodes, what has happened?
All right. Well, to be honest, I was starting to get frustrated with what's his name with the
Kafka?
protag Kafka.
Yeah.
So I was getting frustrated with this man because he is one of the strongest one and he's not doing anything. However, this last episode proved it wrong and he's really strong. They actually, if you remember, they actually compared his current powers to everybody else's.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the power was?
Comparison of powers? Oh, you mean as just himself?
No, as him as the Caillou.
He's number 8, right? Because that's
No, so
oh.
once he shows up on the to save the blonde girl,
Oh yeah.
they say they notice another energy signal appearing. It's a magnitude of 9.8, I think, or 9 point something.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
he's far stronger of whatever they've seen before.
Also, I have to say, your um your ideals for Kafka based on episode 3 where you're getting frustrated, you're not the only
Mhm.
one. I've seen ton of comments like that being like, why don't you just transform already? Why?
Well, I mean, I can understand. He's in a place that will kill him on the spot, and he doesn't know how to control it. He wants to do it by himself, but at least I don't know. Look, and if you go back to Hero Academia,
Yeah.
Deku used his powers in the first episode, even though he broke his arms and legs, right?
Look how far he's come too.
Mm-hmm. And this man would not want to use his powers at all on the test. So far that his suit only pulled a 0.1% out of power. So that was my point. At least use it a little. Say it was the suit that gave you power or something. But
Yeah.
I can't really say because he's just learning. It's been a month since he got those powers.
I do have to say though, episode 3 definitely shows that he is worthy of more of a strategist role as well, because he understood the weak points from doing all the cleaning and stuff of these kaijus that he had to clean up, right? He understands what
Mhm.
their weak points are and was able to pinpoint that to people, being like, hey, hit that chest area. That's its weak point.
Well, not like he was able to understood. He's been cleaning kaijus for a lot of time, so he knows what's the weak points are. It's not more. It's not like he was strategizing about them. He just knows.
I know, but it's that experience and knowledge too, because others that have never done that probably wouldn't have that knowledge. Obviously, except for our local badass girl, you know.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that he's a strategist. It's just that he's doing it for so long, so he has that knowledge. It's not like he came up with a plan about him doing this. He said that he's gonna support them and telling people where to shoot.
I guess that's a fair assessment rather than what I mean by strategist, but yeah. But yes, episode 4, obviously we had our action and we also had another freaking speaking kaiju.
And yeah, and apparently he works with Kafka too.
Yeah, he's part of the disposal unit. I'm just like, and I was tempted to go back to see if that guy was already part of their group or if he's a new guy. I think they said he was
Mhm.
new though, right?
Yeah, they said he was new.
So I probably wouldn't have seen him anyway.
Hmm. But I think this one is a kaiju that transforms into a human, not the way Kafka is. Because Kafka is a human that transforms into a kaiju. I think this one is a kaiju that transforms into a human because of two reasons. First, he didn't know how to use a phone,
Oh
and
yeah.
second, you see him struggling to maintain his kaiju form and human form.
We also know that he has the power to revive the kaiju. That this new kaiju.
Was it the power to revive kaijus or?
Yeah, because they were knocked down and he just kind of, I don't know, it might be like a necromancy sort of, thing, but he kind of just
Mhm.
like revived them and gave them more power essentially.
It could be that he was just controlling the carcasses, not
Yeah.
necessarily mean that they were alive.
So in this case, I'm thinking of this as kind of like a parallel. Like you said, this is a kaiju that can turn into a human. Kafka is a human that can turn into a kaiju. Do you think this is our clash here? Our essentially this is our main villain over here. This kaiju that can turn into a human and revive these other kaijus back. Kind of get in the way and everything. And is this gonna be our main threat?
So look at it this way: I don't think you saw Attack on Titan, but in Attack on Titan, there's
Yeah.
Titans, right? And then there's the shifters. The shifters are the ones, the humans that turn into Titans at will and then can transform back.
People are gonna flag me for that one. I didn't watch Attack. Yeah.
So in the show, you have humans that can turn into Titans and then revert back. So you have the humans that are trying to defeat the Titans, and then you have another faction that's turning into the Titans to kill those humans in that specified place. I'm just simplifying and not going over the
Okay.
whole thing because it's a lot more complicated. But then you had another faction trying to kill the protagonist that they can turn into humans too. I mean Titans. So I'm guessing this is the same way. So he's there to sabotage the human and learn from the humans, learn their tactics, that way he can grow stronger and know how to fight the other humans.
I just mean, do you think he is kind of like the main threat? Because I kind of feel like that's what it's leading for, right?
Mm,
He has the ability to. I don't know if it is revival or if it's like puppetry, kind of like what your thought was.
so we're jumping the gun a little bit over here by saying that he has the revival. I don't think it was a revival, or it could still be. or it could be like puppetry controlling or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. But I don't think so. I think somebody's on top of,
You think somebody's above him?
yeah, controlling him.
Could be.
At the same time, he got that weird call on the phone too. So my guess, there's another human out there that can turn into a kaiju, or a kaiju turn into a human.
They might be all amongst us. You never know. Might be around the entire world. Might be
It might
more.
be.
And then we also, of course, still have the mysterious one that took him over and why it took him over, and, gave him the powers of a kaiju. We still have to
Hmm.
eventually solve that mystery, and I don't know, he can talk to it at some point because it's in his body, essentially.
Hmm.
So that could be a situation kind of like I'm not gonna compare it to like a Naruto Nine-Tailed Fox scenario. That's a little far fetched.
Yeah, but there's other animes like the one that we were talking about, where with the hand, I forgot the name, that he an alien goes into his hand and turns into a killing machine.
Oh, Parasite.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't actually watched Parasite, but I know of Parasite.
So it could be that. However, now that I'm thinking about it, it could be that this kaiju sent the flying kaiju to get him. That's
Huh.
how he got his powers, because he talked too. So it might have been a part of his flesh or something.
I wonder why he would do that. Like, why would he want to give this human powers?
Well, then he let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
He got powers, and now this new kaiju type of thing is working with Kafka on Kafka's group. They haven't met each other yet, but now he went back to. They show that he's working on Kafka's group. So after he gets power, I think he's being monitored or something.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess it's so. I'm just wondering how he's gonna be able to continue moving along with this because I guess he technically passed that round of the exam, right? I would assume.
They didn't say if he passed or not.
I guess we wouldn't find out until the next episode, I suppose.
Yeah, they didn't say for sure. The blonde girl passed, and when they asked her in the ending, did you take out the giant kaiju? She said she did. She never mentioned Kafka or the other guy. So if he passes, it might have been for the support that he provided. But up until a few minutes before, he was gonna get eliminated because he got hurt. He basically didn't do anything, just provide support, and that's it.
Forgot that technically he did show her that form in that moment. I already, yeah, I just kind of like that kind of faded from my memory for a second there. But yeah, she kept her word and didn't say anything about it because I don't know. I assume because he saved her life, so I don't think he wanted to.
True, but he also did tell her, if you don't say anything, I'll tell you all about it later.
That's true too. That's going to be a very interesting conversation.
Hmm. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
And that also lines back up with her first initial comment to him. You smell like kaiju.
'Cause he is.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on to our favorite game anime for this season. The God's Game we play.
Nice. All
So,
right. So what do you got?
well, we have two episodes, 5 and 6 here. Obviously, episode 5 we got an introduction of what it looks to be a future addition to the our character cast.
Hmm.
It's the girl that has a lot of strength in her leg. I don't know if she said what her power was, but she has like a lot of strength.
Yeah. So I think she gets the power of speed or something. It has something to do with the legs. But she's no longer an apostle, though. In that episode, it shows that she lost the game, so she lost the ability to play in the games to be apostle. So now that's why she wants to be the disciple of the main guy.
Wait, didn't are you sure that she lost her ability to be an apostle? Or didn't she just like I don't think she's lost enough games. Maybe one more game would make her lose her
So
about.
I'm not sure, but I think I recall them saying on the episode that she lost. She sacrificed herself so that the other guys could win. So she lost the game, and I think that's why she kept looking at the mark on her hands.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know. We'll find out more on that probably because I don't know why she would have joined the team if she doesn't have like powers to.
Well, she said she had a vision that she wanted to be
Okay.
under him. She's not afraid of anything. So,
All right. Yeah, and we obviously from that get they're kind of more traveling around now to play games.
mm-hmm.
So different,
Doing a.
facilities, and we get obviously a new rival like character from I don't know what the group was called right now, but
I don't remember the name of the group, but it seems like fun. It's basically him, but like more egocentric.
yeah, which we do see in the following episode, aka the episode that aired
Mhm,
today, that they,
mhm.
you know, they had their game. It was kind of like a mix of cards, board game-ish setting, kind of a weird mismatch of things, right? Like, player roles being like healer, mage, and traveler. I think it was just three, right?
Oh, four. Don't
Oh,
forget Trapper.
trapper. Oh, there was a trapper category.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I probably should have looked at that a little closer. I'm very interested in these different things, and they all have different effects depending on what you choose. Traveler gets an extra space. Mages get an extra bonus damage. I think it was right.
Yeah.
But it's laid out like a board game, different spaces. You can land on spaces, collect cards for your hand. Even dice cards are part of your field. The very simple mechanic game, and I think that works out. Where at the beginning everybody puts down a card. If it's the same value as somebody else, you don't get the benefit of the space. AK, you can't both collect cards on that space. So
So it's like Mario Party meets Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that.
it felt kind of like a mix of Yu-Gi-Oh, didn't it? Being like, I activate a spell card. I activate
Hmm.
a high speed spell card. Not if I activate my high spell card.
Yep.
I was just laughing. Like, this is like, okay. It's like fun, right?
I like the episode. I like as to where they took the moment. We all knew that he was gonna win, but it looked kind of close at some point. Um, they had it planned it out and all that. It was a fun. It was a fun um game, you say, but at the end, by the second turn of the game, like all rules that they explained, they go out the window. Like I thought you could only like do one action per turn, but they started doing like three, four actions per turn. So all rules of what they explained just went out the window. It was kind of crazy, but at the same time fun. So it's always fun and refreshing to see the protagonists win on different ways, not winning the same time. And I think that's the biggest challenge in anime like this, like No Game No Life. Like if you have the protagonist win the same way every time, it gets boring. So now you have to make him win if you're gonna make him win, but on some different ways.
Yeah, I think also with those like high speed spell combos, it reminds me of quick play spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you can
That's what I
essentially
thought.
you can just flip it over on your opponent's turn and play it. It's just kind of like, you know, and I don't think all cards are like that in this game because that would make this very generic and boring at a point. I'm sure there's just kind of a mixed match of cards, and that's why they're starting to fling them out because they were saving them for the right moment. And then they have these special like cards. I don't know if I think it's based off of like your class and whatnot. Like a special healer card. I didn't see any traveler cards.
He used it. It's
Okay.
just his ability to get a special space. So the ability of the mage was the that all the damage is done do more damage.
Yeah, it was like +1.
Yeah, so that's the ability. And meanwhile, the ability of the traveler was just to give him one more space, which
Yeah.
he wasn't used. He only used once. And the healer was that she gets to heal an additional one.
It's and obviously these treasure cards are what you would say. I wouldn't call them insanely broken. I would say powerful cards that require specific situation. That you kind of have to meld it around that situation. And
Hmm.
their whole combo of and you earlier he's just like, hey, can we trade our hands? We trade cards from our hands. Obviously, there was a no, but there are things in the game that allow you to do so. Which, that was a high, plot point of the game is him essentially throwing a card into storage and she gets it out later.
He devised a whole plan by just one answer. That's crazy.
Essentially he's able to give a powerful card from his hand to her hand just through this situation and use it, to essentially finish this off, take what should be a lot of damage herself and reflect it back.
Yes, but it's basically the same thing that the one guy did. Reflect
The trap damage.
yes, to somebody else. So it was basically that. Since she acquired 20 damage, then she reflected it back to the leader of the party, the enemy party.
Yeah, and was it just like, because I wasn't sure if I caught the rules exactly. Was it only one of them had to be taken out, aka the leader of the group, aka if our MC got taken out?
That confused me too, because I thought that it was the two of them that had to be taken out. However, she took out the leader of the other group, so maybe it was a team effort, but maybe the rules were if anybody died. They don't explain that at any moment.
He does, though. The opponent's partner, the girl, did shield him a few times from what could be fatal damage. So I guess it could just be, it's either if the leader is taken out and he's counted as a leader, or if anybody's taken out. It could be one or the other, I suppose, right?
Well, yes. So that sounds like true because when they were trying to take her out, they weren't saying anything like you lose the game. They were saying just like you hurt you yourself, you lose.
Yeah. Because even he reflected damage back to his teammate one time as well,
Mhm.
so that he wouldn't, lose in that situation.
So it could be that the rule set is like if the leader gets taken out, then you guys lose the game.
And I know I saw some people were confused by the first one of the first moves where he puts up that barrier field, which increases damage +1 again, and mages give +1
Mhm.
as well. And it's like it's a total of 4 damage. It's like, wouldn't that be 3? And I'm just like, well, don't both mages count into that? It'd be a +1 for both mages, right?
Well, she never used her ability for that.
So I just mean like, mages in general boost damage, right? So wouldn't that would that is that a team wide buff? I wonder. AKA like,
Mhm.
do both mages count as a +1 for some damage? AKA, you know,
Well, that's the thing. It didn't. Ooh, I almost fall over here.
yeah. You almost fell over.
um, yeah, I almost fell. That's why the spike in my voice suddenly
Yeah,
changed. So they didn't explain that. They left a lot of things that they didn't explain.
but I do like all these, kind of unique style games. That's why a lot of us enjoyed No Game No Life, right?
Mhm.
Unique style games. Like if you remember the chess game in No Game No Life, the chess game one, where
Mhm.
you could literally rally them like an army.
They had different Easter eggs in that one. Like they had the Yu-Gi-Oh part. They had the um, what is it called? The law one, the Phoenix, right? With the music. The objection.
Yeah.
I love that anime, man. It's really good.
Oh, the other thing that got me, and it's because I've watched so many card game anime, was the end of the episode 6 where she's like, "This is my final turn," and I'm just like, I'm reminded because they did that in Card Fight Vanguard so many times, where they on their start of their turn they like final turn, aka they're about to end it, is what they mean. And I'm just like, when I saw that, I'm just like, I don't know if that is a particular reference to that, or like like an ode to that, like a parody reference. But
It could be because a lot of
yeah,
animes like this seem to have references.
and they got the game flow correctly for Yu-Gi-Oh, where nope, you can't have a turn.
Hmm. They did the Yugi thing. That's not how it works.
And I also think too that, I mean, I am probably spreading like bullshit that it's another reference. There's a card in Yu-Gi-Oh called Golden Sarcophagus where
Yeah.
you essentially put a card in the box and it will come back to you in a couple turns. And in his case, he
Oh,
put it in
wow.
a storage, and she pulled it out of the storage later. I'm just like,
That's
I don't know if that's a joke reference or not.
It could be an Easter egg of it.
Yeah, it could be, could not be, but I thought it was fun, and I obviously like card game. I watch so many card game anime. I'm watching the Shadowverse anime this season.
I'm not watching games,
Anything else to say about this episode?
but I like the anime. I liked it. It was really good. Like every game that they pull is really refreshing, and I can't wait to see the next game that comes out.
You know what the sad part is?
But it's ending soon with 12 episodes.
Well, it's a 13 episoder, luckily, but we only have 7 more to go. We're essentially at the halfway point, which is
Yes.
crazy. How we already have the halfway point of an anime season.
I don't know. Go find the creators and have them dish out more anime.
Oh, they are. This is the same author that's going to have 2 anime in the next season. I told you about last time.
Hmm?
Yeah, he's going to have 2 in the next season. Remember, like that one I mentioned, something about I don't belong in this world anymore or something like that.
Yep. I remember the name, but I do remember you telling me.
All right, moving on. We got Mushoku Tensei.
Right. You seemed really hyped earlier when you started to talk about Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, we'll get that in a second. Let's start with what happened in the episode before that, aka Ruijerd brought the kids. We got Ruijerd
Yep.
back. He came for a little bit. He was here and gone like really quick.
Yeah, he said that he didn't want to bother um people over there, and I don't know why he would think that. He's really awesome though.
He played a very crucial role though, because this is that thing that we were talking about in regards to Eris, right? The way he kind of talked to Rudius about that situation, being like about the whole Eris situation, where he needs to kind of talk to her about it. He can't just like run from it.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. He did say that when that time comes, she might not be of words, but just hear her out. She might not know how to explain herself, but just give her a chance.
Yeah, that's just like, are we sure that Ruijerd is not Rudius's father?
Well, Rudius is a pervert, so is his father, so it shows.
But yeah, we get the kids in. Obviously, we kind of see what the dynamic is. You know, the I think it's Aisha or something. Aisha, something like that. She's obviously feels a lot more outgoing of a personality and is fine with Rudius. While Norn, on the other hand, still fears him from when he punched his dad.
Well, yeah, the first interaction they ever make, it's him punching his dad, shit out of stuffing out of his dad. So that creates an impact, and that created an impact on her. So she was fearful, and
Absolutely.
every time she took a glimpse of her brother was with somebody else. So
Yeah, it is fair, absolutely, to be afraid if that's your first interaction with somebody. If the first interaction is just like beating up, you know, your father figure or something like that, then it's gonna have an effect on you. And in the case of Aisha, like I don't even think that's the proper name. In the case of the other girl, and I'm not probably not even saying the name right. I'm just gonna obviously she had a different circumstance with hers. She just witnessed him in his perverted moments.
yes, that's what I mean. So she only saw him on the bad moments, but my boy Rudius has gone a long way.
There's a point of questioning why people do like him because she doesn't understand.
Hmm. Yeah, but at the same time, she was being compared a lot to him by everybody unconsciously, and they were burning her out on that. So that made her think that this is a person on a whole other league, and I can't even do the stuff right. But like she even says when she asked to go to the college to school,
Yeah.
he thought that Rudy was gonna be mad. So she was fearful, and then when he says okay, she's still doubting because she thought it was a trap or something.
Yeah, I thought it was especially that one scene. You remember the scene where he tries to go into her room and talk to her about this whole
Mhm,
situation. And then
mhm,
as soon as he reaches for the doorknob, he hears somebody yelling, "Get away." And as soon as he
mhm.
opens the door, he sees himself there.
Yeah,
And I was just like, that was
this episode was deep. This episode was deep, and I even say deeper than Nanashi because
not a
he
Hoshia.
was, yeah. So he was seeing himself, and he wanted to help his sister not to become what he had become. So he was trying to do something because in the past that they changed, they show sorry. His brother is trying to do something for him, but he ignored out his brother.
It was in that moment that he was essentially the brother,
Mm-hmm.
which is very poetic.
I really like this episode, and it kind of touches your heart.
And then like when she opens the curtain and sees Rudius talking, and then all of a sudden it flashes to, you know, his father. AKA
Mm-hmm.
she realizes in that moment they are the same.
They basically are, just Rudy doesn't have a beard.
Yeah. It's just like, man, like these kind of moments just make it, you know, make it for me on Mushoku Tensei.
It was a really good episode. If you guys haven't watched it, I do recommend that you go and give it a check. At least this episode is really meaningful. It doesn't have all the jokes, and actually I didn't see no joke at all on this episode, huh?
Yeah, you could say it was a turning point.
Aha. So talking about turning points, what is it that you have to tell?
Well, considering we know the title of the next episode is Turning Point 3, and you're just like, oh, right, there were two other turning points. And then you realize what the two other turning points were. The reason why, like, I initially was just like, okay, Turning Point 3, yeah, there was two other turning points. And I kind of saw this comment before where it would explain the two turning points, and I just like double check that by going back to the episode description for the two other turning points. And I was just like, yeah, every time there's a title turning point, something happens. Uh, Whether good or bad, it's actually none of them have been good. Turning point one, the destruction of the town, the mass teleportation. That
Mm-hmm.
was the beginning. Turning point one, everybody got teleported. Eris and them got teleported to the demon continent. All these people, like Sophie, got teleported up midair. And
That's why
then,
her
yeah, and that's why her hair is like that. Turning point two, we meet Orsted, the dragon god. And we know how that went.
yeah, that didn't end it up so well. Like it wasn't even a fight with him.
That was an amazing episode, though. That was a
It
freaking
was.
crazy episode. Because then you really gauge the power of these gods.
Mhm.
And you're just like, yeah, no, what the heck?
That is true.
And you also gauge in that fight, too. Like, Rudius was super close to even just damaging him.
He was, but he didn't really get anything done.
Yeah. Which makes you wonder, okay, so we're going to turning point three. What bad's gonna happen this time?
What is the people assuming out there?
I don't know. I have a feeling it's probably some kind of connection to, the fact they have to save his mom now. So something bad's
Mhm.
gonna happen, whether it be some sort of death or something. I feel like that is something people are, or manga readers, I should say, are kind of egging on a little bit. They're alluding to, and I'm just like, I'm not sure who, but my main thought is Rudius's father would be the most impactful for him,
So,
or Regent.
given us to given us to every time we have an episode named the turning point on the series, something bad really happens. I can agree with you that I think that somebody might be ending, and I can't think of anybody else. But his dad just sent his two sisters to with Rudy.
Yeah,
So maybe he knew something or he was preparing for something. So what I think is gonna happen is somebody close to Rudy might end, and then forcing Rudy to leave his comfort zone, his happy life, and going back to adventuring and investigating and all that.
yeah, because it's been peaceful episodes after peaceful episodes for
Mhm.
outside of the emotional episode, variants, it's been largely here at the academy. So they kind of got a house. He essentially got married in extent. His two sisters are now here, but then, of course, know that things are changing. There's a turning point, and again, this is the third turning point.
Or we could be wrong, and it could be that turning point that he convinced his sister from not liking him to like him.
Don't know though, because the both of the last two turning points have ultimately been something bad. So if they couldn't just suddenly do something good, right?
Hmm. No, we don't know.
If they did, it would definitely just throw something at somebody, right? Being like, oh, okay, nothing happened.
They could be trying to control. That's happened before. So
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and find out. I'm looking forward to see what's gonna happen. And Mushoku's been kind of trending like every week.
it is. It's good.
Shoku greatness, man. Speaking of greatness, Go Loser Ranger.
What happened last week?
Episode 4, yeah, because we didn't have one this week. First You Golf. Freaking had a golf program in place of episode 5, so we have to wait till this next week to watch episode 5. Episode 4, it involves the red-haired kid that very strange, and I still don't get him, and I still don't understand him. But I guess he's kind of helping Fighter D now, because Fighter D is obviously still alive. We've learned.
Let me tell you something about this. So this episode really caught me off guard with everything that's happened. So now we know for sure that he cannot transform. Red cannot transform without his relic, right?
Yes, that's also another thing to learn.
I had a misconception about it, and it was that I thought the relic gave them power, but as we can see in the episode, he is really powerful as to kill one of his followers because they challenged him. But the guy with the red hair threw me off with all that he wants to help. So he knew from the very beginning with his sister that Fighter D was not a human, in fact. So now they want to help him.
Yeah,
It was a good episode, and I like an episode that throws me off, like not in a bad way, but like everything that's happening. So we both thought that Fighter D was dead, and then somebody else was gonna take over, but he's still alive.
yeah.
So like
I don't.
it's good.
Thing is, I wonder if she knows.
Cool.
The yellow haired girl. I wonder if she is aware that he's alive, or if she just thinks he's dead still at this point.
Oh, that doesn't get explained. So
Yeah, I guess we. He essentially jumped from teaming up with her to teaming up with him.
mhm. But she might know because it's his her brother though.
This guy throws me off though. The red haired guy with the white. The guy throws me off. Like it's just he's so something else where I'm just like so suspicious of him, and I'm still suspicious of him.
Why?
I don't know. He just doesn't feel right to me. He gives me the wrong vibe. Like he says he's gonna help, but it's just like why? Why exactly?
So they showed you his backstory. They're telling you why.
Yeah, I guess he was the one with the family, right? That
Mhm.
insanely strange.
Him and the yellow girl, both. They're they're brothers and sisters.
Oh yeah, because the family was like more on the villain side, right? Kind of a thing.
Not on the villain side. They just wanted to be disconnected from all the hero stuff. They said that what is gonna happen is gonna happen, and they left everything to God in God's hands. So they were like kind of a cultist. Doesn't mean that they were evil. They just didn't want to get their kids filled with all that stuff that was happening.
Meanwhile, that god slaughtered all of them.
That was no God. I'm pretty sure that was one of the bad guys.
Yeah, what they deemed as, I guess, a god, because he came down like an angel.
Hmm.
So that actually posed the question. That was the same guy that we saw that slaughtered like one of the blue ones in the episode previously to that too. Does that mean he's somebody that's around still? 'Cause I think that was in the present, wasn't it? At that point in time.
When it happened to the kids, it was back in the past when they were kids. I'm not sure the one.
The end of the previous episode to that, unless that was a credit scene that maybe I didn't tell you about. Actually, it might have been. It might have been after credits.
Probably because I don't watch. I don't remember anything of that.
Yeah, there was this scene where it showed that exact guy that we saw in that flashback, and he essentially, I guess, slaughtered one of the blue members in a dark alley or something, because that's what happens. Dark alleys.
So I don't think it's the present because the whole concept of the anime is that all the current lords or gods are dead. So
Yeah,
that's why the fighters just following what the hero society tell them to.
yeah. I guess who knows on that. All right, we kind of have a few more to cover. Wow, we actually already had an hour, but we can go a little bit more and kind of briefly talk on some of these, right? These last few.
Yeah.
All right, Moonlit Fantasy. What are your thoughts on it? I know you watched today's episode, last episode.
So at the beginning of the episode, there's the two dragons talking, and it's getting to the point where the main guy has to take a choice. The white dragon was asking her, Tomoe,
Yeah,
so what's your master's stance on this? And she said he still hasn't made a decision, but it's getting to the point. He said that he could be strong enough to take out the goddess already.
I liked that quote, and that just like really set like a power level standpoint, and
Mhm.
and I know we won't see that now, and I do hope anime gets to that point where we can see like him versus the goddess, but I doubt we will.
Maybe on another season.
If they have more seasons, if not, you'd have to read the manga, unfortunately.
But it's so far it's been fun. We saw the Spider One rebel a little because she knew um
Yeah,
what was gonna happen.
you knew he was still alive after all of
Hmm.
that. And it was funny because I didn't expect the students to take him out. 'Cause it was the students and it wasn't him.
It was a good episode. A lot happened. The crying hero is coming back. So now I'm pretty sure he's
Uh
not gonna side. Uh, our protagonist is not gonna side with the demons anymore because of how much has been going on.
Instead, he's gonna side with the prostitutes.
Oh God,
I mean, he's already made friends.
that doesn't mean that
The boss
he
wants
has
to
to
talk
meet.
to him.
Yep, it's probably her.
I mean, she literally is like, "Yeah, we've been buying rejuvenation potions from your company."
Energy potions or something like that to get stamina. There's
Yeah,
no shop no more. It's got destroyed.
you're still gonna want those though, because they're very helpful in situations like that.
All right.
Yozakura family.
Oh, you want to switch to that one? Okay. So the Yozakura family, is that how it's pronounced?
Yep, Yozakura family.
So this one, I'm really liking the anime. It's really fun, and it's showing, like I mentioned earlier to you, it's showing progress on the main guy. Like he started out being basically a nobody, and now he's somebody that can fight, knows how to use a gun, knows how to dodge, knows how to protect. And that character development means a lot. And at least in my eyes, it's really important. So you can see him growing by each episode, and I like that.
And it's just funny, like you just hear her always just like kind of speak on getting more superhuman every day.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're all superhuman, but he's being trained by a lot of superhumans, so of course he's
Yeah,
gonna pick up on some of this stuff.
even the like fighting half awake state.
Did it once, but he did.
Hey, do you think you could do that?
Not fight. I do go on autopilot sometimes, but I can't fight on autopilot. I don't think so.
I've done that while driving, and that's not a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. I've gone on autopilot.
Where your mind just kind of wanders off. You're thinking about
Hmm.
something, but your brain is still able to function to tell you where you're going.
Hmm. Automatically, yeah.
And then by the time you like kind of wake up out of that state, you're just like, hey, I made it this far already.
And you're like, how did I get over here? I have no
Yeah.
memory of this.
And it's like that's dangerous territory.
It is. It is. So you guys gotta be careful out there not to be on that state. It's not as fun as it sounds.
And well, episode 5 of the Yozakura family. Obviously, we kind of had like a date episode, if you call it that, a mission date episode. And I know we were
Yeah.
talking about it earlier, and it's just like I already knew you were on the same wavelength as me, where we're just like, here's all the potential couple culprits for having guns. You see, like all these that are just like these are the most suspect, and then you see these two that are just like, oh, they couldn't be these two wearing the pink jackets and everything and acting all lovey dovey. And I'm sure you're on the same wavelength as me, being like, that's them. They're the one.
Yeah. When I first saw it, they show you three couples that are they look weird. They look like they're gonna cause trouble. And then they show one couple that was like, "Oh my god, I love you," and I'm like, "No, that's them. That's them for sure."
That screams they have weaponry.
Yep. It was a fun episode, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the most hilarious part was when that like guy with the mohawk gets all embarrassed. It's just it was
But
completely
yeah,
the reverse of like what you think his personality would be like.
yes, you were not expecting. You're expecting him to be loud and all that, but they touch hands and they both of them got shy. So
It was actually funny as
it's an anime with a lot of promise. It has a lot of potential, and I will finish this one. I would not drop it.
yeah, and it's this is a longer one too. As I mentioned, I think this is like 25 or 27.
Good,
27 episodes.
good. That means that I'll have something to watch for a while.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's so many. I don't. I'm not gonna complain. This show's kind of like Spies plus the Adams Family.
Really cool though. We have Deku in there on that hides on trash cans.
Yeah. Well, outside of AK what's going on in Slime, which we'll probably have a lot more to talk about the next time because things will have happened by then. But we know in Slime, Reincarnated as a slime right now. It's been kind of slow going. It's been a lot more meeting episodes, right? And
Yes.
Hinata is finally heading towards him and kind of being used again.
Again. What a shame.
So we'll have more to talk about by that next time.
What happened on this one last is everything that they have planned is going wrong. So you now you have this empire gathering heroes or adventurers to go fight. You have Hinata going to fight or talk to Rimuru, and then you have somebody tailing Hinata,
Yeah.
and I think somewhere else something else what had happened. Oh, the priest guy died.
Yeah.
So I honestly think it was one of those flying dudes that was impersonating him. Because
Yeah.
how did they even know in the first place that he had a message for Hinata?
Also, we know that the message was fake because even Rimuru didn't do that message where it's like, let's fight. He's not the type to
Yep,
do that.
I'll take you on one on one.
I definitely do think, because, they mentioned the priest was dead. I think he was already dead. He was just being controlled.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He was dead. Somebody was impersonating him or something.
Or just like controlling
So,
him. Like a puppet.
as you know, Clayman's people can turn into somebody else. At least these guys. If
Yeah, the
Rimuru can do it,
marionettes,
what's
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they could easily kind of do that, huh?
They're still going around. You saw him in a few episodes that they were arguing between each other.
Yep. And I wonder the power of that sword that she was given. I do feel like there's something more to that, though. I feel like that sword's going to control her.
They're trying to have her killed the dragon and her.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Is it might just be like, hey, if the dragon's in her vicinity, it's going to kind of take her over and make her fight.
Mm,
Something like that, or kind of give her the, kind of like a brainwashing kind of weapon, I would say.
yeah, I'd say something like that.
Because despite everything, despite them being like, we shouldn't make enemies of them, there's these other people, those flying ones that have another different agenda where they do want to cause that.
And then we have the angels too. They've been mentioned a few.
That goes back to, I was just like, saying before, it's like, hey, if there's demons, there has to be angels, right? And then they mention angels, and it's just like, I wonder when we'll see these angels.
I'm not sure. What I do know is that the enemies are riling up right now, going to sort of like a state of war. Everybody's gathering people, so. But I know my boy Rimuru. Everything will be fine. Just he's he is he's a demon lord though, so and he gave the gift to a lot of his guys. So
Well, we'll find out in the next couple episodes what happens. We might have a fight on our hands on this next episode. It might be the following episode. It depends on how things work out here.
gotta
So
watch
be
it.
prepared.
Yes.
And I think with that, we covered all we could cover today. So I will say thank you guys all for watching this Into the Depths anime podcast episode.
Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us and staying here with us. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you have anime.
An
Sorry,
enemy. Yes, an
not an
enemy.
anime. If you have an anime that you want us to review, talk about it, give our honest opinion, just let us know. Write it on the comments below, and our emperor over here will give it a look, and he'll take it upon himself of talking about it, reviewing it, and watch some animes that he's supposed to be watching.
And if there's any like particular themes you'd like us to talk about or genres or anything like that, I definitely wouldn't mind doing like an isekai centered episode or a freaking slice of life, any of those kind of things. Now, if it's mecha, I would have to actually watch more mecha for that. But
He knows a lot about idols, though, so
I've watched a lot of those and music anime like that. Yeah, go ahead and leave any suggestions, any comments, anything like that down in the description. Not description, the comments. Descriptions for me. Comments are for you. In the comment section below. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
bye bye, guys. Take care. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.